lose weight, yet Ayds lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in Ayds is not a stimulant.
Ayds.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a man so fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
All right, we're live. We are here at Relaunch.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not even like doing shows. We're just
I like that. You're
just jump
this is
in.
what you did this shit right here. I like that.
I was watching the samurai book the other day, the rules for samurais from in Ghost Dog, from the HANGOUT, and one of them was like going about it in a long roundabout way. That is not the way of the samurai. The samurai just dashes in headlong. It just so I just figured just throw us all in here. Excellent.
Yeah.
Scab might be around. Man, this is a big day. Well, so we're here at Relaunch. I'm going to introduce. This is Kevin Strange. Some of you may know, and of course this is sometimes co-host Sam the River.
Yeah. Yep. That's me. Am I a man that thinks I'm a river, or a river that thinks I'm a man? That's the question.
I always assumed it was like it's like poker terminology. Like you're that if you know poker terminology, the river is that like final flip. So everybody's got their cards, everybody's done their shit, and then you flip the river, and that's what makes all the difference.
All right, yeah, that's cool. I don't know exactly where the nickname came from. I guess it's because I hang out by the river behind my house or whatever a lot. I just kind of sit there and listen to it.
Yeah, I think that was like
Is this the river?
Oh my god! There's a cat. I don't know.
I didn't even think about. Yeah, that's part of him down there. He's
the river. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't even think about that. That's fantastic. It's all subliminal. So yeah, it was a complicated day today. The situation and whatnot. So I wasn't able to make that's why I wanted Sam to come in. I want to cover Kevin Strange's death to Strangeville, because I mean that is the lead in, is that we're going to we're going to put you 6 feet under, and that is the end of the stream.
Yeah, at the end of the stream, that's it for me, folks. We are in fact in Canada now. It turns out Relaunch has relocated. Relaunch is relocated to Canada, where you can end of life people compassionately for just about any reason.
You don't make enough of your campaign goal today. The next hour, you're
You
Kevin
can't hit your
Strange's wife.
campaign goal. Add to the list of reasons Canada can kill you. You failed to hit the minimum of your comic book crowdfunder, and that's it for you folks. That's it. Yeah, Death to Strangeville is my brand new comic book piece, and we're tossing that sucker up there on the Indiegogo. This is launch weekend. This is we have a special going on right now through tomorrow night. If you back the campaign, you get. You got the Alex Jones song down there. You were playing like a jazz rendition of it the other night. I was jamming out to that, dude. That was awesome. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the little graphic a little bit more. You see, there's the little graphic. If you back in the first 48 hours, which is tomorrow night by midnight, Sunday night by Sunday, March 3rd, 2024 by midnight, you get a free 11 by 17, or is it 17 by 11 because it's landscape? A free 17 by 11 poster piece with your comic book. And this time around, so last time around, I did a big fat fucking graphic novel, Kevin Strange's Space Worms, and it cost quite a bit. It was a hefty ask.
Yeah, this one's
$30.
Less pages, isn't it?
This one is many less pages and many less dollars. This is a one shot 20 pager full color, and the print version is only $8 to jump in. Or if you want the cover art poster, so a second poster, and if you scroll down a little bit more, you can see the poster or the cover art.
Over on this.
Over
it's
on
like
that
it's yeah.
You get a double. It's a double penetrate. It's a dual. It's like in and out. It's like this. But up there, that top left picture is obviously the cover, and for 12 bones, you get that as an 11 by 17 poster as well.
Oh.
So if you get in by midnight, sir.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, what's the other poster? That's what I just looked at. Like I'm literally
So those would be the two.
I'm just reaching my head in to see it more clearly because my phone screen's really small.
Let's all reach our heads in.
Let's see exactly.
No, well, like it's just like smaller.
Can you guys see me now?
I'm just trying to see the poster or whatever. Yeah, more clear.
Scroll back down a little bit there, Dr.Ben, and you can see the cover. The cover's pretty gnarly. I'm proud of that one. It's a pretty cool cover. So I'm really excited to.
Is that their nose or no?
That's an ant. So that's the what do you call that? They're ant demons. So whatever the front of their face is, where the
right
what do you call that? The mandibles.
Oh, okay.
So that's
I see them.
That's like the thick part of where the mandibles connect, the front of their face, and they've got a pentagram carved into it. There.
Excellent.
As well as an upside down.
That's what I was going to say, an upside-down cross. Look.
An upside-down cross on the foreheads. It went a little extra on the satanic part of the satanic ant demons. And, of course, the subject matter of Death to Strangeville is the peaceful town of Strangeville is overrun with satanic ant demons that want to destroy my hometown. And I, of course, the cartoon version, the cartoon avatar of myself, has to defend the peaceful town of Strangeville from the satanic ant demons. And it's very much got like a blacklight style interior, kind of inspired by Jim Rugg's Octobriana, kind of inspired by taking way too much LSD in the 1990s, kind of inspired by overcompensating my inability to color like a normal person. But I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love, like, it's just like, it feels like it's just gonna like burn your eyes, like like in these bottom two, the pink and like the orange and yellow, and they just like, it's such like a high contrast.
100% orange, 100% green, 100% pink.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
I love that this is like, you know what I mean? Like, this is you. This is like your, as you. I mean, we've talked before, and like Strangeville is, like this town that it's your personal brain like put into a comic town, and it's where. Is it all your stories, or is it just most of them? Would you say? Like, I can't remember.
I've never done a comic book that wasn't set in Strangeville. Yeah, it's all Strangeville stories.
Even the Beetle one, the Beetle brain.
Okay, so the novels aren't set in Strangeville. The novels are set in a town called Hops Hollow, and Hops Hollow is like the serious version of Strangeville, I guess. And things, even though things are crazy over there in the fictional universe, so I make movies, write novels, and I do comic books. The comic books and the movies are set in Strangeville, which is a absurd, goofy version of reality, and then the novels are set in more of a realistic world where crazy things happen. So it's like the inverse. It's like the yin and yang, black and white universe. So it's like contrasting universes. Best way I can describe it. And there are certain entities that travel between those two realities. One of the god demon. I don't know if you read Space Worms, but the god demon that the cult worships in Space Worms is an entity called Tetraholographagon, and Tetraholographagon also appears in the fiction works of the fictional town of Hops Hollow. If you're still following me, there are entities that can travel between those two contrasting universes, and I want to do more. I want to explore more of that, where I blend those two realities together more.
Wow,
I see.
Pretty cool, actually. It's kind of weird how like Dr.Ben's series involves like demon things in it too. And the thing I'm working on that I don't, it's really just rough drafts and stuff at this point. But my basic idea for my story is about like this retail store being run covertly by like shape-shifting aliens that like are turning the like employee staff into like slaves for their colony.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be neat. There's a lot you can work with retail. I was a manager and clerk of a porn shop for 6 years, and there's a lot of stuff to mine from that kind of like clientele. See that there's people you see every day over and over and over again.
The kind of cool thing about how I have navigated my work, because it's kind of based on my life and working in retail.
Right.
Yeah. I've found my way working in like so many different departments in the store, so I'm not like excluded to one. So I get like more perspectives of the workplace environment, I think, by lending myself open and available for like the different departments and stuff. So I can write more about more, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And also by I meet more people too on my job, so that's more characters. There's goofy people.
Absolutely.
I try to like imitate their voices sometimes when they're not around and stuff to really nail their voice.
Yeah, when I did Space Worms, I worked in a pizza shop, and there were two guys there that were absolute characters. Only one of them worked there. The other one was his buddy. He was a pizza driver. The other dude just hung out in his car the entire shift. So he would work entire pizza shifts for free just to hang out with his buddy. And I'd be like, dude, why don't you just get a job here? and get paid to hang out. And he's like, that's too much responsibility, bro. Like, it's literally no more responsibility than the responsibility you have by just like, this is the type of job that you're just like showing up is the hard part. Once you're there, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Like, there's famously one of my female friends at she's unfortunately passed away now, R.I.P. But she used to do like she would crush up pills and rail them off the stainless steel make table before shifts, and she would sometimes be so fucked up and somehow be making pizzas. But if you try to talk to her, she'd be like, just don't talk to her, just let her make pizza. Somehow she can do this. Like, the experiences that I had working in a shop like that, it was like, there's literally no threshold other than drag your human body through that door and be here. And that's like that's the minimum requirement.
Oh yeah, I know. I take very good advantage of all the coffee they have. Like I like take more coffee than I really should have. Right. Like when I work there, and also on my breaks I just get baked, and I can still work, but
it really the minimum requirement is to just be there. Can we listen to the Alex Jones song before we watch the trailer?
Yeah,
if you want, we can
sing along. Do you know it by heart? I've listened to it 10 million times.
I have listened to it a lot.
It's in my heart and soul.
Yeah, mine too.
I just want to make sure we don't get like a
what? It's made up of Alex Jones clips. I don't think is there a copyright on Alex Jones clips? What, did you lose it?
No, I pushed it, but then it put it, there we go.
You're 11 seconds in already.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I pushed it, and then it started, and I was like,
"Hey, do you want to? Hey, these ads are annoying. Do you want to get rid of them?" Yeah, it's a great business model, YouTube. Let me know.
Don't you hate our ads?
Don't you hate our ads? Why did you pay to not have to look at them? Like, great business model, dude. I'm sure that's working out.
Well, should we pull up this one, or should we do the jazz one?
Oh, I don't mind either one, indie rock or the jazz. Let's do the jazz because it's newer.
Yeah, let's do the or wait, I bet if I just scroll down.
Maybe not.
There
I bet the algorithm. I was gonna say, I bet the algorithm hates this song. Here we go. Oh.
See? Don't you hate our ads? Yes.
Don't you hate these ads?
Yes, we do.
Pay us money and you don't have to see it. Well, that's what how do the ad makers do? Here we go.
The other thing is I can't quite tell how the volume is going to be, so it's like super louder. Crazy. Okay.
You can go a little louder on it.
They're a bunch of situations, don't get factories, even babies alive. We come out from under rocks. We're green colored skin. We want to eat babies. Have them on video.
That's just like the best. Right here on video.
Love it.
She sleeps in that same room as a creepy
with that creepy weirdo woman.
Yeah, no, yesterday.
That woman number one is ugly.
Just imagine how bad she smells, man.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Is like you should do like the punk rock version. Sam plays drums.
The ska version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I mean, the ska version would just be kind of like this, and what would maybe like a bit more of
sped up, right? Literal vampire potbelly goblins.
Literal vampire potbelly. Literally.
Like cool.
I was in a feud. I was in a feud with a guy from the Bizarro Fiction community, and I drew him as a literal potbelly vampire.
Which one did you draw? Jeff Burke? What? It was Jeff Burke.
Yeah.
See, then I'll get Jeff Burke messaging me again. Well, talking about
not only did I draw him as a literal vampire potbelly demon or whatever, but I put it on a T-shirt and sent it to him. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
It's just like my theme song. I love that.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah,
on to the campaign trailer, I suppose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love Jeff Burke. I mean, he's like a fan. I hung out with you. You had to have hung out with him at some point, I would imagine.
Yeah, I hung out with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you be like, I'm not gonna hang out with Jeff Burke again because he voted for Bernie, Hillary, or Biden? You know what I mean? Would you be like, no?
Jeff Burke goes. I don't think he votes. I think he puts on a ski mask and burns down fucking businesses in Portland. I'm pretty sure he runs a fucking Antifa wing. I mean, I don't know if you know how radical that guy really is, but he's a fucking radical Antifa lunatic. Would I hang out? I mean, I don't. What's that?
He stopped doing like horror though. Like he stopped wriing. Like his
no shit because he got radicalized by the internet.
That was like my introduction to like looking at, like, I went to KillerCon that 2018, right? And then it was that Bizarro Con was like the last one for like a few years.
Last one period.
Right.
Well, they kept doing little gatherings and then they would do the results of the Wonderland Awards. I'm a 2-time Wonderland Award nominee. I don't know if you know that about me or not, but I was legit a major part of that scene for several years until they decided I was a radical because I voted for Donald Trump.
Well, you are on a list, so it's
definitely on a list. The question about whether I would hang out with him again, I would hang out. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's an awesome guy.
Just
like
about anybody. Well, I mean, listen. I even just had a nice conversation with him not that long ago where we were discussing ska and we were discussing Matt Freeman on the bass, Rancid and the fucking ska band they were in.
Mary Poppin' Daddies.
No, I don't know why I blank. I'm only blanking on it because we're live.
Operation Ivy.
What's that?
Operation Ivy.
Yeah, Operation Ivy.
Yeah.
Brian Seltzer.
But yeah, we were having a nice conversation about how badass Matt Freeman is on bass, and we actually didn't get to each other's throats. So there are many things that Jeff Burke and I have in common, but him being a crazy radical Antifa weirdo, it's only going to take a matter of seconds before he flies into some crazy communist politics rant.
Potentially,
and he's like all the other crazy Antifa communist kids, where he for sure comes from some affluent fucking family in Pennsylvania and used his fucking family money to move to Portland or whatever, and he'll be like, "This is not true. Kevin Strange spreads lies about me." It's not lies. I don't know, because this is what gets me in trouble talking about Jeff Burke, because I'm the kind of guy that'll say something like that. I'll say something like that for comedy's sake, and then he wants to like hang me with it, like, "You didn't do your research, Kevin Strange. You don't know what my family income is." I'm like, "No, I don't. I was trying to be silly. I was being silly by saying that. I don't know that for sure."
I have heard other rumors that his family is incredibly wealthy from their Scrapple trademarks that they have.
The Scrabble trade?
Scrapple, not Scrabble. Scrapple.
What is Scrapple? Not familiar with Scrapple.
It's like a Pennsylvania.
It's a combination of Snapple and Scrapple somehow.
No,
I don't know
it's
how you mix those.
It's when you play Scrabble while drinking Snapple.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a delicacy in Pennsylvania. It's like a
Oh,
traditional
they do that in Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah. It's not in Ohio. It's not an Ohio thing. Definitely.
Not an Ohio thing.
We don't have scramble over here.
No, but I mean, as far as any of those people, I could, if there's actually an event coming up in St. Louis that is we've derailed this completely into this crazy drama territory.
That's always that's what I mean.
So Brian Keene is, I'm sure he was at that Killer Con also. So he is like part of the Scares That Care Foundation,
right?
And
right.
the Scares That Care they're doing, I think it's called is it called AuthorCon? I think it might be called AuthorCon, and it's going to be in St. Louis this year, and it's coming up. I think it might be in April, and I don't know who's all going to be there, but if it's a Scares That Care, if Scares That Care is putting it on, then I can almost guarantee you 100% of the authors there would lose their minds if I walked through the door, even as a paying customer. Even if I bought a ticket and tried to walk through the floor, I think I would be thrown out. I don't think I could make it 10 feet before security would ask me to leave, even as a paying customer. That's how much that community despises me. Could I be in a room with them? And I'm not saying Jeff's going to be there, and I don't even know if Brian's going to be there, but could I be in a room with them? I would have no problem. I wouldn't have any problem being in a room with them or having a civil conversation with them. Would they allow me in a room with them to have a civil conversation? I don't believe so. I believe they would have me thrown out of anywhere that I would try to go. I had a very hypothetical, brief conversation with one of the founders of BizarroCon several years ago, and I was assured that if I came to a future BizarroCon and behaved myself and didn't try to start trouble, that I would be allowed to attend. Okay. And so I have like a loose verbal go ahead to come back to BizarroCon if I wanted to, but I think that the attendees would lose their fucking minds. I think the attendees would riot and they would mutiny and they would threaten to leave the grounds, and there wouldn't be a Bizarro. It would just be me by myself.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I saw was like, I saw that just like mob of people that all like afterward, all went after him and the Chandler Morrison or whatever. And I was just like, man, I don't have any desire, like the people that said anything like against that whole like this whole mob of people said it was, well, can you explain this to Sam real quick? Like what exactly happened there, just in like layman's terms, or
there's a tradition at BizarroCon and KillerCon where they do a similar event at the end of one of the nights where they do a gross out. It's called the Gross Out Contest at KillerCon, and I think it's called the Ultimate Bizarro Showdown at BizarroCon. And Jeff Burke would tell you those are two completely separate things, and Kevin Strange is getting it all wrong, and he's always lying. And the thing is there's just not that much different. Like to the layman, there's not that much difference. So there's these two separate events that are in Jeff's mind completely separate. To the layman, they look exactly the same. So the idea is you try to gross out or out weird your opponents, and anybody can volunteer and sign up to do this contest. And the only thing you win and it's a crowd reaction vote and then a panel of judges, and they kind of take both the crowd reaction and the judges and sort of figure out, and they eliminate you in rounds, and you have like you have to do certain rounds, or maybe it's just one round and they pick a winner. You do, it's like 10 guys sign up, and so you do, and so it's basically like a small performance art piece that can be anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes. So there's these contests that take place at KillerCon and BizarroCon. Anyone can sign up. I guess there's an unlimited amount of people that can join because not many people go to these shows, like less than 100. So you can have 10, maybe 12 contestants that'll sign up, all voluntary, and then they do a gross or a weird skit that can last like 3 to 5 minutes, and then they're judged on it. And Chandler Morrison fucked a baby doll. And there are competing stories about whether or not it was his real dick or whether he used a prosthetic dick in his pants to simulate. So he simulated raping a baby in his his little performance art piece, and things is that the most extreme thing that's ever been done? Unclear. That's the kind of thing that apparently is like really acceptable at KillerCon, but apparently the Bizarro audience, they like things to be more abstractly weird and incoherent, and not so much shocking and offensive.
There's no. This is the other thing. Like, there's not like video, right? There's not video of.
I don't believe for this particular one there's any video.
Right, like that. That was. I only went to the one KillerCon, and that's what I'm saying. It's like after I saw like they all just flipped, and like all the people that were just
in the moment, his baby rape performance got applause, and he didn't win or anything. But then after the weekend ended and everybody got back into their social media poser personalities and activists, slacktivist internet personalities, they decided to cancel Chandler for this performance, and I don't even know what the grounds for canceling him were, because it's not like KillerCon and Eraserhead Press and Deadite Press and guys like Wrath James White and Jeff Burke and Edward Lee, and the list goes. Brian Smith. The list goes on and on of extreme horror authors who have absolutely raped babies in their fiction.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm not saying them personally. I'm saying they've had characters who, yes, they've written about that type of thing. Edward Lee, Lord, you could probably find 10 of his books that have that type of
that's
content.
The beginning, the prologue.
So what's bizarre is like none of this is out of bounds or out of play as far as the fiction is concerned. And this wasn't him like on a political stage saying like, these are my morals and values, I like to rape babies. It was a performance art that that Chandler he was heading more in that direction of the gross out contests from KillerCon. And I guess he didn't read the audience well enough, even though apparently live it went over. He didn't bomb with that bit. People didn't get up and I'm outraged. I can't believe this, because this is an extremely like far left leaning Antifa supporting audience in the first place. So the idea of killing babies is nothing. Even in their personal ethos, they love abortion. Like they worship at the altar of aborting. Of aborted babies. It is the foundation of their real life moral belief system. Is like, if you can't kill the babies, then the world's going to end, right? Like a lot of those people are like one issue voters, and that issue is you have to let me kill babies. Otherwise, the world's going to be overrun by babies, and then pollution and global warming. And like, it's a foundation of their philosophy of their entire worldview is we better start killing more babies or it's over for everybody. So it's all weird. It's super weird that they went after him and attacked him, because everything about that should be, again, from the fiction they write to their personal belief systems, that should be right on. No problem. Double thumbs up. You should have raped 4 babies in that skit.
Yeah, that
should have been the reaction, but it wasn't. Instead, they canceled him for it, and I always get this wrong, and then Jeff calls me. I always get this wrong, and Jeff calls me a liar. Jeff, to his credit, stood his ground, because then they wanted to cancel his book. So he had a forthcoming book that was going to be released through Deadite Press, and Jeff had curated it. Jeff was the editor of this book, and Jeff, to his credit, stood his ground and said, "If you cancel that book, I'm not going to work for you." And for the life of me, I never remember. I could flip a coin. Did he get fired or did he quit? I never remember. And he yells at me and he tells me the right answer 20 times, and I cannot keep it straight. I think he got fired, and I think he gets mad when I say he quit. Or he quit and he gets mad when I say he got fired. I don't know which. To me, that's like semantics.
You go with one, and I'll go with the other one.
Yeah,
and
Sam
is like a neutral party, so we're not
fired.
trying to sway Sam either way. Just
but the point is, somebody like Sam, a layman, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, he no longer worked at Deadite, and that book got canceled, and that was sort of the end of Jeff's career in Bizarre.
Sounds pretty lame, all that. Yeah.
The other
Right.
guy, Chandler's
Well,
still publishing books. He's still
Sure,
doing his
yeah,
thing.
he didn't. Yeah,
Like
and,
he was one of the people that reached out to me when I was in the hospital after I
Mhm.
broke all my feet. He was one of the people I talked to, and there was like, "Hope you're doing okay," and I was like, "Thank you." And,
that's very nice of him. For a baby raper, he seems to be a compassionate person.
well, I mean, I think he's more like portraying that, like it's like if you're
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Like none of the,
like
like
with Stephen King, like Sam and I often joke about Stephen King. Like we're not saying that he himself would do all the evil things in his books, but if he were to like perform a scene from one of his books, you'd be like, oh my gosh, he needs to be
What?
yeah.
arrested. But
Well, that's a trend that started,
performance, yeah,
10 years ago or whatever, that the worst parts of a creator's work, like the evil parts, the bad parts, they are sort of attributed to them as though that's part of their moral compass, which is ridiculous, obviously.
if this is what you're portraying, if you're portraying as we saw here, death to Strangeville, that must mean that's what we want. Just
Oh, hey, gang. Kevin
Big
Strange
cookie
here,
expert.
back with another comic book crowdfunder on Indiegogo. This time, we're rocking my brand new comic book piece, Death to Strangeville, wherein cartoon Strange must defend our peaceful little town against satanic ant demons. And he drops a little knowledge on the history of the Strangeville Stonerverse along the way. We've got several tiers for you this time, gang, including the fresh little PDF version for your phone piece, the physical comic book by itself, or the comic book bundled up with this 11 by 17 poster of the cover art. Amazing. Metal interlude.
I saw this and I was just like, I was like, I need to watch.
As with all Strangeville Comics crowdfunders, Death to Strangeville is already finished and ready to print. Your contribution will help us with shipping and printing costs. You will get this comic book toot sweet. That is the Strangeville Comics guarantee. So head on over to Indiegogo, gang, and back Death to Strangeville now. We're funding through the entire month of March. God damn, this is a good song.
Yeah, so another controversial thing, and now we're back. Now we're in comics. We're staying in the when me and Dr.Ben together, we like to stay in a controversial frame.
Yeah,
we like to stay over the target of things that get people upset. One of the things that seems to get people upset in comic book crowdfunding these days, or there's a group A and a group B, and they fight about this, whether or not you should have all of the artwork for your your comic book campaign finished before you launch it, or whether you should wait, get all your money together, and then start paying an artist to draw it, or in the case of like an EVS, get all the money and then start drawing it yourself. And so you've got the anti-EVS side that says, of course, you should have all your pages finished. That's the responsible thing to do. And then you have the pro CG or EVS side that say, we want a great book, and it doesn't matter how long that takes. It could take 3 months. It could take 3 years. We just want a quality book. And so there's this like weird argument that somehow having the art done means the art isn't quality. And so obviously I fall somewhere in the weird middle of like, one doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like it could take 10 years to make a comic book and it can suck. Or you can have all the art done for an amazing book, and it can be shipped out immediately upon finishing. For me personally, the way I like to work as an artist is I like to have the work done before I launch the crowdfunder, because that takes the pressure off me as an artist. So I can take my time. I can go fast. I can go slow. I don't have the pressure of backers like waiting on me to finish something. It would make me miserable if every time I did a page, I had to check in with mom. Mom, I did another page. Mommy, I finished a page. Does it look good, Mom? Can I start the next page? If I had to do that, I would. I just. Wouldn't make me happy as a creator, as an artist. So I finish everything before I start. So all that is to say, Death to Strangeville is completely finished and ready to print. I do the crowdfunding campaigns because one, they're fun. It's fun to do these, it motivates me to come on and do shows and promote myself and promote my brand and my new comic. Watching that little meter grow is, towards completion of the project is fun, not only for me, but is also fun for the fans. They kind of rally behind, like, yeah, come on, we're almost there. And really all it does is it helps me pay for the print. I don't have to pay upfront cost for the printing when I do it this way. So the only thing that I leave to chance is the printing. So as soon as the Indiegogo check clears, I send that check to the printer and I get books sent my way. And I've done this every time. This is my 6th crowdfunder. I've been doing comic book crowdfunders since 2018. Every single one of them has been successful, and every single one of them has been fulfilled on time or early, which again is this controversial thing of like, well, I don't care if it's on time. I care that it's good. Well, how about both?
Yeah.
How about I provide you with a good comic book that's also on time? And that's the thing. I don't because when I back crowdfunders, I tend to only these days. I did a lot of crowdfunding backing back in when I first started. I wanted to see what it was all about. Got in and I backed a bunch of books, and some of those books have never come out to this day. One guy whose book I backed went to jail for being a pedophile, so I'll never see that. That book. And some of them, were on time. Some of them were late, and generally the ones that never got finished, I won't back. Those people kind of disappear, and they're not going to launch another one anyway. So I'm not going to back them. But I tend to, depending on how late the book is, because there's a book right now called The Vein. I don't mean to put that creator on blast like that, but he's pretty late. I think he was supposed to. I think October of last year was his delivery date, and I've been patient with it. I don't care. He's he sends out an update every month and says we're really trying really hard. I didn't realize it was going to be this, but and that's how most first time guys, they get in over their head. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it takes forever. The problem is a lot of those guys that are really diligent about giving you those updates at first, like we're trying so hard. Oh my God, I didn't know. Sometimes those updates start being every other month, then every 3 months, and then every 6 months, and then they disappear, and they become one of those guys that steal your money and rip you off. And of course, these crowdfunding sites tell you you're not buying a product, you're backing an experience or whatever the hell. So
you're backing an experience.
I'm also not the kind of guy that goes and harasses late creators online. Like I'm just like, okay, I won't back anything. It's a cool ass looking book. I hope I get it. I could go 50-50 on the Vein guy right now. Is he actually going to finish the book and give it to us, or is he going to disappear?
Let's see the Vein.
I'm about 50-50. I'm about 50-50 on the Vein. But most, the guys that I go back and fund again and again have come in at a decent, they might not be early, and they might even be a couple months late. But if they send me a cool book and it wasn't horrifically late, I'll back them again if they have a project I like. For me, I like to get them done before, I like to avoid all of that by just having the shit done and shipping it out as soon as the campaign ends, or sending it off to the printer as soon as the campaign ends, and as soon as I get it in my possession, shipping it out. Right. So that's the Strangeville crowdfunder way. And strangely enough, that doesn't get a lot of praise from the internet crowdfunding community. Like there's no, like, you don't get a gold star for doing 6 campaigns in a row that ship out early. Like, people really don't care about that. That's not a bit, and I thought it was a big deal. I was like, man, I'm gonna have this like Strangeville Comics guarantee that this is I always call it, like not a stress-free, but what do I put on there? I put it on the Indiegogo. It's a hang on, let me look what it says
on the Indiegogo.
Yeah, risk-free is what I call it. I always say it's a risk-free campaign because it'll say it down there at the bottom of that graphic.
At the bottom of the graphic.
Yeah. Just scroll down. Scroll that down.
I've somehow lost complete.
Yeah, the graphics are gone. You got to scroll down. Scroll that one all the way down, all the way down, all the way to the bottom of that graphic. And then it says,
okay.
and then too
Oh,
far.
oh Jesus! Why?
There you go, right at the end of the graphic. So, like all Strangeville crowdfunders, this campaign is risk-free. All of our previous campaigns shipped immediately after the close of the campaign, and Death to Strangeville is no different. This book will be delivered to you toot sweet. That's the Strangeville Comics guarantee. So
sweet toots.
That doesn't impress people as much as I thought it would. As I've built this reputation over time as being a guy that's super reliable, and if you back my campaign, you're not going to get ripped off. That hasn't garnered me the type of praise that I thought it might. Not that I'm after praise, but I thought if anything, if people are going to celebrate anything about my comics, at least like knowing you can trust that you're going to get them on time would be one thing I thought I would get some praise for. Because let's be honest, most of the comic book crowdfunding is.
I have heard lots of people not get their stuff, or like it's late, or they don't like you're saying, like they have like updates that slow down and they disappear. I mean,
but most people don't care about that. They care about getting a nostalgic superhero comic book. Like most of the comic book crowdfunding world is nostalgia based. Remember how superheroes made you feel when you were a kid? Well, maybe be it the 80s or 90s or early 2000s, whatever. That's sort of what almost all these crowdfunders are, is superheroes. And I don't do superhero comics. I do these really weird, whacked out indie comics, or underground, called underground comics, or outlaw comics, or even, do you know what power comics are? Are you familiar with the term power comics? Dr.Ben?
Of course.
Yes. Power comics are like these really cringy 1980s amateurish comics that are so bad they're good. I mean, you might put my stuff in Neo Power Comics category if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. What I'm trying to say is, like, no matter how reliable I am, the fact that I do like a niche indie comic, I don't get $1 million back. I'm not going to make $85,000 off of this campaign, even though I've been doing this for years. It's a very, I get a very small group of people that back these comics, and that's not, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that I thought that being as reliable as I have been for years on end, and campaign after campaign, that would bring in maybe more backers, but they really don't care about it. There's just a specific type of book that a bunch of people will back, and everything else is kind of, we're kind of fighting for scraps. If you make a weird comic.
What do you think it would look like if you did a Strangeville that looked like a 90s superhero comic, though? You know what I mean? Like, what would that even look like if you tried to just be like,
it would have to use it like
camouflage, like
it would have like the only way I would be able to do that, because my through my lens I do absurdity and parody and stuff like that. So it would probably look like Stupid, the Image Comics parody of superheroes.
Barta,
and I don't think people would like it, because I'd be making fun of superheroes. All my superheroes would be lame, and I'd be taking the piss out of what it is that makes them like superheroes. They'd just be mad at me about it, like, fuck you, man. Because I usually refer to superhero stuff as cape shit. I don't like most of it. I really don't. Right. I like Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. I like Rob Liefeld's X-Force and X-Factor, all his Cable and Deadpool and that shit. And I like Jim Lee's X-Men run. And some of the Chris Claremont stuff is really good too. And then Batman. And Batman is like the outlier, because of all those, Batman's the only one that wears a cape. I'm really not into the spandex cape superhero people. Except for Batman. And I think the reason I like Batman and Batman's world so much is because so many of his villains are monsters and weirdos and psychopaths. So he has it's very dark and weird. And I kind of look past the fact that he's in the spandex outfit with a cape.
You just pretend he's not wearing spandex.
Yeah, it just doesn't. In his case, it doesn't bother me. But from as far as all that other cape shit, I'm just not into it. It's just never been anything.
I mean, I like the spandex. I'm definitely with you with spandex, if it's actual but when it's the the stuff from the Batman movies where it looks kind of like SWAT team armor or something.
Gear, Well, they go out of their way in the modern Batman movies to try to make it look as cool as possible without being just a guy in his underwear, even though they've begrudgingly have to put that fucking cape on him. And that's the thing they can't ever really get. Like my favorite Batman cape and cowl is the Michael Keaton shit from Batman and Batman Returns. It was this giant rubber thing.
Yeah.
That was he couldn't even move his neck around. I mean, he looked so ridiculous, and I like that for some reason. But I like those movies because Tim Burton took it in the fucking hardcore goth direction, and the Joker was a complete psychopath. And then I recently got to see Batman Returns in the theater, and man, seeing Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman and Danny DeVito going absolutely insane, and even Max Schreck, Christopher Walken as Max Schreck, great villain in that. So I think the reason I'm so into Batman is because he has such deranged villains.
I can see that. Like all of them are like so, like just stand outish. You know what I mean? Like from like
just pick any of them. Like I think Clayface is a great villain. I think Killer Croc is a great villain. Obviously, I think Joker is probably. What did Mad Hatter do?
Like what was even? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what was his like? How was he even a villain? Like,
didn't he put?
How was the Mad Hatter a villain? I'm pretty sure the Mad Hatter like diddles little girls.
Didn't he mind control people with hats? Wasn't that his thing? He would put
and he believes his life is like a Lewis Carroll book or something.
Yeah. Okay. But Man Bat was a great villain.
Yeah.
There's actually strangely around here, and this is even stranger because we're talking to the king of Strangeville, but strangely around here
it's a monarchy now. I'm the king of
there's been rumors of like a thing that's like a
man bat.
Yeah, well, you know that thing I'm talking about, Sam, that it's like some people say it's like a pig or like a hog or something, or like
like a bat.
Yeah,
it's like a bat, a pig, and some kind of
like a Bigfoot or Swamp Thing monster.
Sort of like Swamp Thing. I don't know.
We should see. That's what I wanted to really ask people at the author thing today, was see if any of them. That's what I should have asked you to cover.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Swamp Thing's
cool. That's said anything about that. I forgot to ask them, but
it's been a.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I saw a couple authors at that author thing, and that was kind of cool. There was a guy dressed as a pirate, and he had like pirate stories or whatever. He has a card. I got a card.
Pull that up.
Still, yeah. Let me
pull that up, Dr.Ben. Let's see that card.
Pull it up. Hold still. Solo. Okay, we gotta.
Sam, are you in the sewer? Are you in the sewers of Gotham City right now? What is this?
The Killer Croc is like somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Is he your roommate? Are you Killer Croc's roommate? He's on probation. He can't rob anybody right now, so he's hurting for cash.
And I don't know. Like some other people wrote some like fantasy, sci-fi stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The thing you grabbed there. Yeah.
Yeah, this J. Drew.
There we go. Over there. Okay.
That's his name.
He looks like a swell fella to meet at the gay orgy.
Yeah.
He apparently knows martial arts.
Oh, I bet he does. I bet he wants to teach you some.
Yeah. No, it was
yeah, I don't know.
What was the convention?
It was like an indie author bash. It was like at a local bookshop in Ashtabula.
In Ashtabula?
Ashtabula.
Last year.
Dr.Ben was supposed to be with his stuff, but
the ancient curse.
Yeah, the ancient dreaded curse
struck today, and I couldn't.
It's unfortunate. Was that convention today?
Yeah, Surrender via mobile. That was.
I had the work, and I only caught like the tail end of it or whatever. But just felt like I needed to get some reportage of what went on for Dr.Ben or whatever. What?
Did you buy any books?
I only had like $5. But I got the stuff, and I might like choose one of the books and buy it when I got money.
One of the pirate books for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the most interesting guy. He was the only guy I really had a long conversation with.
Okay.
He had like all of this stuff written down, like scenes of like the battles portrayed on like maps and like drawings of like ships and all of this stuff. And I don't know. He was like explaining something.
Displayed at his table, he had all this stuff, maps and shit.
Yeah, no, he had the maps and stuff there. No, but like he was talking about some speech a character had in the book or at the end of the book. He has it done, and he has his other stuff done, but he didn't have any of the books there. But he had his information, and you could get his books on like Kindle, like Amazon, kind of stuff.
I see.
He didn't have physical copies, though. I don't think.
No,
with
he's
him.
got to lead you to the books onto the treasure map. You got to go on an adventure.
Yeah. Oh,
a high seas adventure.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
This is a port town too. We are directly on the lake. It's.
Are you in Ashtabula as well, Dr. Ben?
Yeah. Well, Dr. Ben lives in Conneaut, and I live in Ashtabula.
It's like a town, and then another town, and then my town. But we're all in the same county, though.
Little bitty towns. Like, how long does it take you to drive through?
20 minutes or less.
Okay.
Maybe.
From over there to here. Yeah. From here to there.
Yeah.
I live where I live. It's weird because it's right on the other side of the Mississippi River from St. Louis, Missouri. So anytime I'm out of town, I just tell people I'm from St. Louis because I'm 20 minutes outside of downtown St. Louis, and I'm right there. You can, on a clear day in the winter where there's no leaves on the trees, if you're up high enough, you can see the arch, the St. Louis Arch from here. I mean, that's how close we are to it. So, but I live in a cluster of small towns where we just sort of refer to all of them as the east side of St. Louis over here in Illinois, because you can start in one town, drive through another and another and another, and I think you can get about 4 or 5 towns down in 20 minutes. That's how little these towns are. There's little townships that are all, and I guess some of them are village. One of them would be referred to as a city, and then there's a village next to it and a township next to it. But they all have different names, so it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, how close are those?
It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of little Kingsville, North Kingsville, then whatever's south of there. Yeah, it's the same. All kinds of little villas.
Yeah, Main Avenue has almost like everything's like almost shut down, but they have a tiny little bookshop and like a bar, and like that's about it.
How many authors were there at the bookstore?
Probably over 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good turnout.
And there was a good turnout. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the local bookshop. They're just putting on.
Yeah, they had bookcases all over. Stacked, to the brim with all kinds of books.
Was it a lot of the authors? Were a lot of them goth women selling vampire romance?
Sort of. There was like, well, they were like kind of like fantasy novels, but like the one novel or whatever, like the bookmark kind of has like art from it, and the guy doesn't like have a shirt on and shit, and like whatever. Yeah, I guess like the one girl said her story was about like man taking the like something away from like the elves and the fairies or whatever, and it's like man's world now or something. She said it was like
It's how we do.
after the flood or something. Like her idea for it was that it was like after the flood is like when this happened or whatever. And then like I sort of like jokingly said
the elves rise up.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that the
that's awesome.
which collection is that?
This is I just picked it up randomly. This is the volume 6.
Volume 6. Oh, that's like way into there. Yeah.
I haven't shown this one off on
Oh yeah, let me put you I'll put you on the thing. Hold still. Okay.
talking about elves. I just looked down and had Poison Elves right in front of me.
Cool.
Ayds. Rest another fallen soldier.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
I remember reading those and him always talking about the Cramps. And like I never saw the Cramps like around here, like in the music places, until eventually I got like older. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like as a kid,
Yeah.
There was just nowhere to get anything like that. And then nice.
Yeah, I need to build that collection some more. One of the things I wanted to tell you, Dr.Ben.
Sure.
Your channel costs me a lot of money.
I do try. That's what
it's funny. The stuff you review, I end up buying most of the time. It didn't get here in time to show off at this show, but I bought that collection of Noah Van Sciver. What is the name of that? Something Terrace?
Maple
Terrace.
Maple Terrace, yeah.
Yeah, that's on the way. I had to buy that. You did such a brilliant job laying out. Was it Spawn 5 or 8 or both?
5. Well,
yeah,
it's 5 that he's talking about.
It's the Billy Kincaid.
I had to bring up
origin issue, right? And then is it issue 8 where he's in hell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You did such a great job of laying that out, and then delving into the book and like giving that book weight so that when it shows up in the Noah Van Sciver story, it's just you do such a great job of, because you don't just flop open a book and talk about it. You give, you always have some angle, some cool thing that you bring along with it, and you review such kick-ass indie book, because again, I love comic books above all other mediums. I think comic books are my favorite storytelling medium, but I don't like superhero books. So you bring in these like weird indie books and showing them off, that's you're giving me fucking brain boners with that stuff, and I end up spending fucking money on these collections. Who was that guy that you did the other day? Is this the worst so-and-so book?
Simon.
Yes.
He let me borrow that one.
Yeah, that's what I made Sam read it because
you need to review all those books, man. Don't just do that one. That's an entertaining story.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Like in 2020, well, that's what I was showing with like the big what is it, Crisis Zone or whatever. It was so. It reminded me of like in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, how he talked about like there was just these different moments where you're just like, oh shit, I'm alive and this is just what's going on. This is insane, In 2020, like once all the quarantines and lockdowns started, he's like, well, I'm just gonna just make up a comic, every day I'll just do some gags and stuff and just see what I can do. And it got so insane because it was just every day was a whole new like 9-10 panels or whatever, and like there was just all these people. It was all on Instagram, right? And there was just all these people that were not comics people that were like following it, and like Werewolf Jones in there is just like everyone knows Werewolf Jones, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows the guy that like, if he's sober. He's just like a normal dude, doing his job. But like as soon as just takes a shot, and he's just like,
Yep.
just he goes from that to just running around grabbing asses and
Right.
snorting shit off. Like everyone knows that Werewolf Jones, and he's he's just, that's what I'm saying. Like people were just non-comics people were just like flooding
There
in.
was like one particular story that I really liked in there, where they have that gig and stuff, and I was like, I can relate to that because I was at one of those shows like where there were people that just were not having the band. They were the bar just like were expecting some classic rock cover band or something, but they were like in a punk band with original songs, and 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 they did have a couple covers, but they were punk covers. Story of My Life and like some Bad Religion and stuff, but they had some original songs too. But apparently they're like too loud and they couldn't hear any drink orders, and like I don't know.
That's what I've been telling Sam, because he goes to like a lot of like local shows, musical shows, musical performances. Like he should do I think
I thought it would be like cool to do like sort of like a Gonzo journal style, like written observation of like the crowd and the people and the band, and like me being there, write myself into the situation.
Yes.
And the story or whatever, and go where it takes me, kind of thing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Can I show off some of my new local comic shop acquisitions, Dr. Ben? You might be excited.
Yeah, of course. I'm always down. I'm going to put you on the. I feel all excited. Yeah, I don't even know what like comics news I was even thinking about. Okay.
This is just stuff, random stuff I picked up recently. I love these Sam Keith Marvel covers. If you've ever seen these, look how like Wolverine is like almost normal-ish. Look how crazy he draws Nightcrawler.
Wow.
I love his like weird little like, it really accentuates that like Nightcrawler just has those weird little like 2 or 3 stubby little fingers and toes, like
his tail and all that. And that Wolverine's okay. He Sam Keith draws Wolverine a million different ways. That one's all right. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Got another one of those.
Right. I don't think, is he doing a story in those, or is he just doing the covers? Because that's like 107.
So the Marvel Comics Presents, it's just the covers, unfortunately.
Right. Well, because before, leading up to like 100, he was doing a Wolverine story, and then I think he does one later too. But like, I think it's maybe after 100. It's just the covers. Oh yeah.
This is more recent than that.
Yeah. And that's just a cover though too. Yeah, that's he's
still on the Sam Keith tip. He actually does the interiors for this.
Yeah, I had a couple of those. That Wolverine home. The way he draws Hulk. Yeah,
there's some doozies in here.
Oh yeah. That's like you've looked at like Sam Keith's blog too, where he goes over.
What is Wolverine?
Yeah, the way he creates images is so like just visceral. You know what I mean? Like he's just like getting in there and like just struggling.
There's a shot of Logan, of Wolverine's face in this book that just cracked me up. Come on. There's one more I want to show you out of this. Sam Keith is just the best.
Yeah. And there's, it's how many other people even draw like him?
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see his influences. You can see the Barry Windsor Smith and etc. But he, as his career went on, he just went off in his own bizarre direction. I thought there was one more Logan head that was nuts in here. Besides that one, that might be it. Well, let's move on.
Well,
keeping with the Wolverine motif.
Oh,
have you ever seen Wolverine 90?
Yeah, it looks like, what is that, Joe Madureira though? I bet
it's.
Oh no, that's Hildebrandt's like painting over Kubert's or something.
Both. It's both.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's the back image, and then the front image is the different is someone else.
That's cool.
But that's the that's not just the cover that makes this book crazy. It has many gatefold pages that turn into these insane.
Oh, what? Okay.
These insane
wow
shots. Okay, but that's not even the great. That's just page 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and whatever. But that actually folds out another one. That's the final one back here. So that's the entire like opening.
Right.
Wow.
And that's like, what is it? Is it Andy Kubert? Is that who's drawing the insides?
That's Adam Kubert.
Adam
Kubert.
Adam the Kubert.
Doing those crazy
yeah, those guys, I don't know, like you just,
and again, that's not, and there's Topps cards, or what are these Capcom cards in the middle. But that's not the only, like, it keeps, they just keep splashing. There's another another centerfold that goes a long ways.
Yeah, wow. I love it when they do like different things, like in comics. Like, yeah, they just like work with the medium of it, see how they can push it,
See, I've always sort of disliked those because of the just like centerfold aspect. Like when you get to that, you're like, holy shit, that is nice.
Isn't this a cool comic? This is like in the middle of like the 90s gimmick.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to try to get attention. Yeah, I love it. I love
How do you even read that? Like,
how do you even read that shit?
Read one.
You got to have a lot of room. You lay on your bedroom floor. You lay on your stomach on your bedroom floor, and you just open it up, and you just love the fact that you're a comics fan.
Oh, you know what?
If you look at that and you don't think that's cool, I don't think you're passionate about comic books.
Have you ever seen? There's one by is it Mark Wheatley? It's called like Radical Dreamer, where it's like the entire it's the size of a normal comic, but it unfolds like until it's just giant.
Really?
Let me hold on just a second. I can grab it. Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves. Here and I know how. So
still looking for my new stuff.
One more thing. Mail for Sam. Mail for Sam. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know, a funny thing about that, at work, I just loosely found a coupon for mayonnaise. And I was thinking about that Joe Biden Mayo for Sam thing. Joe Biden's trying to gift me mayonnaise, and I don't even want it.
I don't want it, Joe Biden. I think we lost Dr.Ben. I think Dr.Ben, maybe his massive comics collection collapsed on him.
Oh no!
He's buried in comic books.
His cat will have to dig him out.
His Wolverine number 90 gatefolded out, and he's lost in the pages trying to find his way back to reality.
Oh, he's really stuck in there.
I don't remember if I showed off my Zap Comics
Zap.
number 6 last time I was on here or not. It's all beat up, but that's a good one. It's got some really crazy.
Actually have.
Wow.
Pull that back onto. I could not find it at all. Oh, you're showing off Chrome stuff too. Could not find it at all. What?
Did I show off Zap number 6 last time I was on here?
You
I
did not.
acquired this a little while ago. It's got a really gnarly S. Clay Wilson.
Yeah.
Is this it right here? Yeah. It's got this really gnarly S. Clay Wilson 8-pager that I probably shouldn't rest on any panel too long because it's definitely not safe for YouTube.
You
but,
know, we've been showing. We've been like, wasn't there one that we did last week, Sam? Where there was
Criminal by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah, that had a
little spicy.
A lot of titty shots.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So this is this is the Glenn Danzig Veronica line.
Yeah, nice.
Edited by Hart Fisher. It's a good one. I picked up this one. Ninja Turtles 12. That's the first Peter Laird solo Ninja Turtles book, where he did the cover and the interiors. And I don't know if have you been watching his
no,
the Eastman and Laird appearances on Cartoonist Kayfabe? No. Like
I like the Turtles, but like I never could like get into the comics with them. Like I like the looks of them, but I just never. Oh,
Forgot that splash.
Wait, is that supposed to be Splinter?
Yeah.
Is that what Splinter looks like? What?
When it's just Peter Laird doing them, yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker, dude. He's I think he's very because they did everything together. That he's kind of lumped in. It's Eastman and Laird, and I don't think that Peter Laird gets enough credit for how just how much of a motherfucker he could be.
Wow.
Look at that gun.
Yeah,
he's something else, dude. And this is a great book. He's it's the Turtles versus the survivalists. This like extremist group of survivalists. Just a weird, wonky, weird, wonky one. And then I picked up. So I have been watching. They've been doing a lot of coverage on Cartoonist Kayfabe, and Peter Laird. He ain't looking too good, man. He's old, and he looks like he's a couple of potato chips away from, 6 feet under. And so I decided to invest in a Turtles #1.
Holy what?
And I invested in the Turtles.
You're the secret Scrapple Empire guy, aren't you? Wait a second. I invested
in the Turtles #1 and a first solo of Peter Laird because I'm not sure he's much longer for this world. And I'd like to have I'd like to be on my I'd like the value of these to be on my side, not me staring longingly at a $10,000 book in a couple of years when poor Peter leaves this mortal coil. And then I've just got one more thing to show off, and I'll quit with the show and tell. But I ended up picking up the
Scrapple Empire. Oh yeah.
If
You open it, yeah.
The Bram Stoker's Mike Mignola
Yeah.
Dracula series, and I got all 4 of them. It's a 4-issue series, and they're all unopened with the Topps cards still in them. And I don't think that Mike Mignola is going to die anytime soon, but this was too, and they were cheap.
Yeah, you probably got them for what, a couple bucks or something.
It was like 4 a piece.
Really? Oh well, shit! I found them. I think like in a basement sale, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Were they open, or were they sealed, or were they open?
They were still sealed, but it was only 3 of them. It was like 3 of the main series, and then
he did a Dracula versus Frankenstein spinoff, right?
Well, no, and then he might have done that too, but then there was also like a Esteban Mardo Vlad the Impaler or something.
Oh, right.
I got that too. Because like there was like a minute where like Topps was putting out like neat looking comics and stuff. They did.
Dr.Ben. I have to leave kind of soon. I gotta pick up a friend from like work.
Okay. Well,
they don't have a car. They borrow. Their girlfriend works and he works, but they share a car. And while his girlfriend's at work, I'm the cab driver, and that's how it goes.
I see. Well, I can let you go. That way, you're not rushing around. And
yeah. Well,
okay. Well, yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks. I'm glad you got to come in because this was.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do this more, anyways. Like have like
yeah. Yeah, this was actually kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, it was.
That's
it. It's not every day you meet Killer Croc's roommates. It's not every day you meet Killer Croc's roommates. So that was very exciting for me as a big fan.
Yeah, he is an underground dweller, definitely. Sam is.
I went to a music festival in Ohio many, many years ago, 2004 maybe. And we drove. It was just outside of. I'm sure you know because it's not that far from Ashtabula. There's a. It's like a biker or hippie festival grounds where they have weekend shows in your area, somewhere in your area. I can't remember exactly what the name of the venue is. Are you familiar with? If I just say that's not enough information for you to know the venue.
I wouldn't know which one, but I know that there's like spots like that around. Like it could be like Nelson's Ledges.
It was Nelson's Ledges. Yes, that's exactly the one that it is. So there you go. So we had the music festival was at Nelson Ledges, and we drove through Ashtabula, and I thought it was such a cool looking name and it was like 2 carloads of friends and we stayed in a hotel and went to this 3-day music festival, and I dubbed us the Ashtabula Ninja Tribe, and to this day. That group of people, and a lot of the people that went with us were like 17, 18, 19 years old. And this was like their first travel experience, their first, concert, their first, big concert festival and everything. So they dropped the Ashtabula part, but that crew still calls themselves the Ninja Tribe to this day, 20 something years later. I'm like, you should have kept the Ashtabula part. That part was cool. But I guess naming yourself, when you're from St. Louis and you name yourself after a town in Ohio, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe the St. Louis Ninja Tribe.
Well, they call themselves the 618 Ninja Tribe. And 618 is our prefix on our phone number. Our area code is what you would refer to that as, Dr. Ben. Not sure if you know what that is. Took me a while to get to it.
Oh, I have hose in different.
You have an area code too, right?
Yes.
Anywho, yeah.
We let me. You think we should wrap it up? It's getting kind of, I'll let it. Crowd's been kind of wild, and we can.
We went through just about everything. Yeah, we're doing real good with the crowdfunder so far. I think there's like a certain point of a number of backers where it's like, okay, if I order my minimum number of printing, like I'm already covered. If we get 3 times as many backers by the end, I'll have to order more. But we basically already got to the point where the printing and shipping has been covered for as the number of backers that we have right now. There'll be, you know, that'll shift as time goes on. But I'm real happy with our launch, and I appreciate you having me back on the channel to talk about my new comic book piece. It's a fun one. I could talk a little bit more about it. Whatever. It's
well, that's what I'm saying. Like I like that it's just you know, like I said, like with Sam Keith, you don't see people like in it, like they're like Sam Keith clones, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see that. You see a couple people every now and then, or the same with like Robert Crumb people, you know, like that whole sort of underground style has just, it disappeared for like how long, you know what I mean? Like
30 years or more.
And that's what I mean, like that's what I love to see, because I like superhero stuff too, you know, like I like everything, but like, you know, I love seeing the fact that like to hear someone else be like, "There's like a really cool S. Clay Wilson piece in here." I'm like, really? Okay, well, you know what I mean? Like that's to me, I'm just like, that's what we need more of. You know what I mean? Less.
Yeah, I like to run the gamut of styles and eras, and you know, comics has something great from just about every era. Like there hasn't been. Have you ever seen Comic Book Confidential, the documentary that kind of goes through the history of comics?
Yeah.
I mean, once I watched that, I was like, okay, there's something cool in every era, and and Comic Book Confidential was made in what, the 80s, so it doesn't even like, it didn't even get to that image boom and the four horsemen.
It was right before then. Yeah.
So you don't have your McFarlane and your Jim Lee and your Liefeld. And we really don't have, you know, there's not a lot. Trad Moore is a really awesome illustrator, but we don't. And who's the guy that does Headlopper?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think. I don't know his name.
Let me grab that.
The other one I'm thinking of is the guy that does what he did, that Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, and what else did he do? He did the Dual Power Bomb. That, what's his, Daniel Warren Johnson, that guy. He's another. He's pretty cool too.
Andrew McLean is the Headlopper guy.
Okay.
He has a really really interesting style.
Yeah, almost like, reminds me of like when they were everything seemed like it was like the Adventure Time stuff.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was what 2000, like late aughts, 07, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun book. And there's a million of them. This is volume 1. He's probably up to like volume 5 or 6 of Headlopper by now, but it's like it's a fantasy.
Yeah, it's like
dark humor, goofiness, but also just brilliant cartooning.
Yeah, I get like a lot of like Mignola off of there too. Like a lot of the same way you get a
it's
lot
almost
of that,
it's as if Mignola was doing Adventure Time.
Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, because I've got like, whatever is it, like there's like a $1 issue or something of that Headlopper. I've got that, and I was like, sometimes like I'll look at stuff and I'll be like, this looks too much like what I'm already doing. Like I'll be like, I don't want to like look at it more and be too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather like look at like a Prince Valiant comic or something, or anything with Sam Keith, and just be like, you know, try to work from that. You know what I mean? Like rather than just grab something like that looks like, if I look at like Ted McKeever stuff too much, like Ted McKeever is the other guy that I'm like, you know, he's just got that perfect like scratchiness, and it just looks like he's just throwing paint and just
Yeah, I really want to, going back through that Sam Keith stuff and picking up some more of those Marvel Comics Presents covers. It really makes me want to, because I've had my style has been evolving for years, but I've a very, very strict method. I work a specific way, and I've been refining that style for years, but I do not experiment and work outside of that style. My whole laser focus has been to try to get this style down to where I look at it and say, that's the Kevin Strange style. When you look at it, you know you're looking at Kevin Strange stuff. I got,
right.
I got a Space Worms here. You know, I want you to look at.
Oh yeah.
Let's try to find something that doesn't have titties on it. You know, I want you to be able to see something like this from me. You know, a crazy face like that, and go, "Oh, that's Kevin Strange."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Kevin Strange. That's you know, I've been for years. I've been really pounding that style.
Well,
these are some of my favorite shots from.
It's weird because it's like it has such like a smooth look to it. You know what I mean? Like the lines have like the same, not like the same weight, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're just solid. they don't look like you're inking. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't.
That's one of my favorite shots of the book.
But fucker.
Well, I'll tell you what my biggest influences have been over the last couple of years have been like Dan Klaus and Charles Burns, and they have that like absolutely like I'll grab a Charles Burns real quick.
Oh yeah, no,
just to kind of show you the contrast.
Wow, there it is.
You know, this book was hugely influential to me.
Black hole. Yeah.
Looking at this, I was just like, these lines are so precise. And like you said, that line thickness where it's not that
they don't have the same weight, but it's thickness, just so.
But the weight variation has a very almost mathematical quality to it where these lines are going to be a specific weight, but then the lines on the lines on the pillow are a different weight, but they're all the same weight, right? And the line weight on the cover, the blankets rather,
these are like it's so precise, but it's like
so precise.
It's feathering, but it's like it's still so precise. I'm just making words up, you know.
And so there's a Charles Burns face, and if you think about that face I just showed you of my stuff,
right?
I hope you can kind of see a similarity in my approach. I'm not saying I'm ever going to be anywhere near as good as the Charles Burns. He's a master of the craft, but that's the direction I've been. That's the direction I have taken my. Here's a good. I like this face too on this panel as the worm sort of moves up his arm.
Oh, right.
So I try to be really expressive with the faces. Shot of them here, and so what I'm getting at is, for years I've been looking at stuff like this and trying to get that line weight precision down. But looking at this Sam Keith stuff makes me really want to start experimenting with mixed media and throwing, at least with like covers, instead of doing a digital cover like for Space Worms where I did all this in the iPad with the color and everything.
Right.
At least for the covers, starting to experiment with acrylics and trying to put together and just being like, like you said, Sam just struggles with it. He just starts throwing paint on the fucking canvas, and then he tries to make sense of it, and he leaves his mess. And he doesn't erase his mistakes. Everything's just sort of in there. And it's chaos. And it's like the antithesis. It's like the antithesis.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Polar opposites. And I think I need to start. That's what I'm saying is I need to start pulling myself back in the chaotic direction. Because when I was growing up, Sam Keith was my absolute favorite comic book artist. There was no comparison. Like he was it. I'm trying to find this. This is what I'm looking for.
That's what I'm saying. Like I always just have darker image just right there.
Oh,
it's ready.
I've got it in the other room. But this kind of like painted.
Oh yeah, once he's
it's such the polar opposite of what like a Charles Burns or a Dan Klaus does. Just lets it go, just throws it down, and just my absolute passion for comic books started with the Max #1 and seeing you all right? Somebody invading? Are you getting swatted?
Not yet. Not yet.
Are the cops coming? So yeah, I want to try to start, at least with covers, start trying to pull back in more of a Sam Keith direction. Because even his early Image stuff wasn't as brave. I mean, he was weird and whacked out, especially with like the panel shapes and page layouts.
Oh yeah,
he was all fucked up. But as his career progressed, he really started just letting it go. Just what the fuck, like in his let me grab that real quick.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what he's saying. Could we bring up, maybe if I bring up I do that. What if I try and bring up the Sam?
Like once he got on Batman and started doing the Arkham series.
Oh yeah, those things.
You have this one. He just goes.
Well,
I mean, this stuff is so fucking weird. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's just Sam Keith. What do you even say about it?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like
this looks like colored pencil, and a lot of it, you know, it just he mixes mediums to the point that you can't tell what the fuck he's using.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this for a Sam Keith face. I'm obsessed with comic book faces. Obviously, I pay a lot of attention to comic book faces. Look at that Sam Keith face. What is that?
That looks. You know what that looks like? Is that dude from in The Incredibles, from the first Incredibles movie? That was like his boss. That was like, you got it. That he punched through. He punched through a wall or something with that little. Oh yeah.
You know, that looks like, what is that? Maybe oil paint, maybe watercolor.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you can tell, you can just see like just struggle. You can just see like looking at it and putting more on and like, no, let me bring up his thing here, his site. Because that's like, look at like that painting. You could just see like the texture of just built up paint and white out and just God knows what. And that's what like I love with his blog is like he goes through all this. And this is this from today? Posted? Oh no, that's from not today. That's from like a year ago. Well, so maybe he hasn't posted it in a year.
He's probably dead, laying in a stroke coma or something. We just don't know it.
Pretending to be dead. Like, did they know I'm dead yet? No. Okay. Like that's the other thing is like anytime I've ever seen like
that's my favorite. Well, that's the Max pose from Max #1, but that's doing it as Wolverine. That's a great Wolverine. Yeah, if you pull in on that, I actually watched some guy try to recreate that on YouTube. That is impossible. That is impossible to recreate. That is just crazy. Some of the craziest hatching. And that's how I used to draw when I was a teenager, is I would just hatch everything to death like Sam Keith. I never got into color until recently. But in high school, it was in junior high, it was all about pencils, and it was all about all that crazy hatching like Sam Keith.
Well, if you've ever seen that Living the Line channel, they might have done one of the Sam Keith's recreations, but I remember they did a Jay Lee recreation page.
I think it is that Living the Line guy. Yeah. Well, Jay Lee's another motherfucker and I have a shockingly small amount of Jay Lee stuff. Like he's a dude that just fucking goes for it and does insane stuff. I love his style too. Which is weird that I don't know why I like both. I like the really reserved perfectionist style of the Charles Burns and Dan Clowes, but I love the crazy. Is that a Sam Wolverine there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
sometimes he
This
makes it
is
normal.
90. This is him and Tiger Lily or something. Yeah, it's hard to.
Look at the hatching on that background. That's something that Eastman and Laird did a lot. They were pointing out on a recent kayfabe episode was that Eastman and Laird loved to hatch and detail and noodle the backgrounds to death, and then left the foreground figures cleaner so that they would pop off the page.
Right.
And people normally do it the other way around, where they do all the detail on the foreground figure and then they do less detail on the background. It's interesting that you could swap that and have the same effect. Look at that.
Oh, I was thinking like he painted it backwards like that. I'm like,
no,
what
it looks like he just reversed image.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah, that's a classic Max image there. I just love. I fell so in love with the Max and the Outback and Dr. Gone and the whole like first 10
Mr. Please don't besmirch the title of Doctor by.
Did I call him Dr. Gone?
Mr. Gone.
Yeah, it's Mr. Gone. Excuse me.
Yes. Don't doctors don't need any more problems right now.
Well, I'm hanging out with the illustrious Dr.Ben, so I kind of, I've got doctor on the mind. Look at that. Speaking of
Holy
Mr. Gone.
That is wow. And see that's exactly that stuff too, like where it's just there's so much just texture and like just layers and and that's like, well, Mr. Gone's the one that like his head's in like that box or something. Isn't that what's
by like issue 12 or 13 or something like
right?
That. He's a head in a box talking to, is it Sarah that's running around with the box?
Yeah, because then she like flips out later and
because that's her dad, right? That's revealed that that's her dad.
Yes, he has her.
Look at that. That's one of my favorites too. What the fuck is even going on with his hands?
Yes.
Look at all that texture in that background. Look at all those different textures in that background. What's even going on? Is he in a blanket? Is he in a blanket fort? Is that what that's supposed to be?
I think so. That's
Doesn't he put himself in a blanket fort in Julie's house? Isn't that what's going on there? Although that's the Outback.
He's always on the couch.
Yeah, that's the Outback Max.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He is just it's the same thing how you're talking where like you just see a picture and like you know exactly who it is because their style just bleeds through like the whole the only other person I can think of that's like real comparable with him is like Kelly Jones, right? And they were like they went to school together. They grew up together and everything. Like there's an interview with Kelly Jones on what is it, the Jerk channel or Jerk comic or something.
Uncle Jerk. What does he call himself? Uncle Jerk.
Maybe Uncle Jerk. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That guy, like, he actually
lives near me, but he has like this really. I don't want to throw shade, but he's like really opposed to adult comics. So he has like this popular comics channel, but I can't really interact with it because if I send him my stuff, he'll freak out. He hates sex in comics, and that's all I do. That's all I do.
That would pretty much like shut down. Like, check out a Kevin Strange comic. Oh, sure. Oh my god. So
there's another Nightcrawler weirdness. I love how he does Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, look at those little fingers of his are just so. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all those like textures, they just get stuck in your brain. You know what I mean? All these images from him are just so. I don't know what the word is, but it's just they stick out so much from everything else. Like you couldn't, if you wanted to have like a bunch of people like copy him, like it would just be, it wouldn't look, you couldn't, Yeah, he's just too much. He's just over the edge. Look at that.
We had these big wooden desks in high school that had like a lacquer finish over them, and they took pencil lead really well. And so I would sit in class and I would draw these elaborate Max Outback pencil drawings on the fucking desks, and the teachers they'd be like, if I give you paper, will you just draw on that? I'm like, you don't understand how well this desk takes the like, this is the medium I'm working on, this medium specifically for a reason, lady.
This is why I'm here. Why do you think I exactly?
That's why you think I showed up today. I don't have one of these desks at home.
And like, what are even like all those
what even is he trying
bubbles
to
and stuff?
press?
Like it's
he always does that with the muscle. It's like he doesn't know what muscles look like, so he just fills it in with as much random chaos as possible and hopes you won't look. Like don't look at that part. That's just weird. whatever dudes with muscles have right there, it's just weird. Let's look past it. But that texture is. Can you pull in on that any closer, or is that as close? Because look at the leg. Like look at the leg down there. What is that texture even trying to? Yeah, see, the closer you get, the weirder it all.
Oh Jesus! No, what? Oh motherfucker!
Like Geiger-esque. Look at the tree behind him. Like that's not what bark. That's not what bark looks like.
None of it is. That's what I mean. Like those, like just shoulder muscles. I mean, that's all of it's just all these just weird
like Geiger-esque weirdness, and then down here on the tricep, it's all cracked like it's marble.
And the same, like, look at this stuff. I guess that's
that's what I was saying on the leg
area.
What is that supposed to be telling me? And it looks like there's symbols on his leg next to his thumb.
Yeah,
on his thigh region. What are those? Are those words? Does that say something? Uffle? Is it UFL?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like a triangle.
It's like symbols and letters. He's just putting anything in there. Was that like did he slap down a receipt and paint over it? And that's he just left the.
That's what I mean. Like he's just that's why I love like that there's just, you can go on there and see like this is him just like, okay, this is some pictures of stuff. This is a picture of this painting I just did. And it's like, where else could you have that? You know what I mean? Like think back to like the 60s, right? Or the 70s, maybe the 80s. If you had like a painter or an artist to actually get where you could just see them just being like, oh, here, just check this out. Yeah, this is one. Right. Check, that was impossible. And like that's to me that's like the main revolution behind the internet is just that all these people can finally like actually interact, like if that's what they want. You know what I mean? Like it's all just like right there.
Well, that's that's what finally, because I wanted to be a comic book artist from the time I was like 8 years old. And I come from a small Midwestern St. Louis town, and there just was all I was told my whole life was you can't make a living as an artist. You got to work in the refinery. You got to work at the refinery or for a labor union. Like those are the only, like, don't waste your time with this because you're just going to end up at the union hall anyway. So all you're doing is wasting your time. There weren't, because this was the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there were no resources like this. We didn't have an internet. Look at that. That's just a mess.
He's gluing in. Oh shit! How do I get to that? That's a feather.
Gluing in a
couple of feathers.
Yeah.
Like.
But once, what is that he glued? Is
gears.
No, that looks like beads from a.
Yeah, like Mardi Gras beads.
Well, they're even littler. Look, they're tiny. Like they're like.
Oh, that might be like those little like necklace ball chain thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, that's just.
Does he just throw it down on his? Is that just the junk that landed? Was he taking apart his watch and just left it on the fucking canvas and painted over it? Like dumped some fucking acrylic paint on it and just kept on moving. Yeah, it wasn't until the YouTube had to mature to the point where it got to the where people do tutorials for like watching Jim Lee. Have you ever watched Jim Lee do DC covers?
Oh yeah,
on Twitch.
Insane.
And he
immediately
draws a line and erases it. Draws a line and erases it. He draws a whole entire face, then erases it. Being able to watch masters at work on the internet is what finally inspired me to just go for it and start doing comics. Otherwise, I would have never fulfilled that goal of mine that I had my entire life. Like really, the internet and YouTube really is responsible for that. To Harlan, did he give that to Harlan Ellison?
I would. Oh geez, yeah, I would think.
No, Heritage. No, it's at Heritage Auctions. Does he have a description of who that was to?
Is that the top?
Harlan Ellison is a big comics guy, but I don't know if he was a Sam Keith fan. Unfinished short story.
Does he have? Is there something that he like posts? Does he write?
Yeah, click on that and see if he's got a description about it. Nope.
Oh, no.
Just go fuck yourself. Here's a neat picture I made for Harlan, and you'll never know.
Maybe it's Harlan Ellison. Maybe it's Harlan Smith. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. How far does that? That's a great Wolverine right there.
Ugh.
How far does his blog go back?
It goes back.
That shows it to 2010, but that can't be. Is that the? I mean, that's 14 years worth, but I feel like it's been around a lot longer than 2010. I've been looking at this blog for a long, long time.
If we go back.
Did you ever used to read the Poppy Z Bright blog she had a long time ago when she was still a woman?
No.
She had a great fucking blog.
Let's see. This is like the first older posts.
Yeah, does it go even older than that?
There's it's just looking at the internet, just hang out. Looking at the internet.
Look at that. Hang on. Go back to that. I don't know if you went above it or below it. That thing. What is that?
Oh my gosh. And look, he's like talking more about this too.
Yeah.
Is that?
Say?
He's just kind of like throwing them in. Like, I'll probably goofy sketch. Oh, it's like sketchbook pages. Okay, well.
What is that thing? It's like a rabid fucking.
It's like a bat and
awesome.
A pig and.
What does it say? Good God. Look at those eyeballs.
Like everything is just dripping too. Like it's all like this. The stuff from this one is dripping down.
Yeah, it's
and then the one below him, and these eyes going on him. They're like it's.
And his tongue's throwing spit back up in the direction of the other one. It's melting and drooling. What is that thing in the background? Is that a tail? No, that's just a thing in the bottom left, bottom right.
Yeah, it's just a
thing. Well, he's holding a severed leg. Is that a leg? He's holding something.
Yeah, severed foot and part of the leg. Yeah, the way this one's eyes, you know what I'm saying? They're like stretched over the teeth.
Over his teeth.
Well, I mean, you have his Epicurus the Sage book or whatever.
No, I don't think I have.
Really? Who was I talking? There was somebody I was talking to, and they were like talking about it's him, like from like the beginning of his when he started doing stuff, and it's like Greek story. It's like a Greek philosophers or something. But they're all like Sam Keith stuff. See, what the?
Look at that.
See, that's where I see like a bunch of like.
See what I mean? How he doesn't know what muscles are. So That tricep is bigger than his head. The bicep is kind of small, and then look at all of those muscles up under his chest. Has about 45 different muscles
Right.
drawn there.
Just kind of jammed in there. That's insane. Like those arms are so good. Like the forearm, both of those forearms are like just
so fucked up. This is the kind of stuff that I would draw in like high school art class, and the art teacher wasn't having it. And the art teachers never have it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has horror stories about their art teachers trying to get them like crushed into a certain like commercial style or whatever, and or fine art. And they won't, and they didn't want you to break rules like this, because if you look at that like if you look at that as a critic, you're going to say, well, this guy doesn't understand anatomy. But if you look at it as an appreciator of weirdness, you love that he doesn't understand anatomy and how distorted and fucked up everything is.
yeah, he's just
Look at that shine on her hair, that hair light that he's got there. Beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Absolutely
like
beautiful.
with all of his, I mean, that's the thing is like with, you know, he's got this anatomy that's all like this guy's right arm is just,
That's clearly the jerk arm.
actually, have you seen, there's a dude that has an arm that looks like that. These guys,
This one arm is all fucking jacked. Yeah.
Both of them are like, have just this big muscle thing here that it sticks out almost like that. But you know, like what I'm saying is like, he's like, all of those forms and shapes, like he's continuing to like use them as where they are in space. You know what I mean? Like he's got like this big goofy looking arm shape, but then it's like all the 3D.
Yeah. Then he lights it.
He gives it it's all exactly.
He
like
does it wrong, and then he builds
right
on top of it the correct way. Like, well, this is where light would hit this giant arm that makes no sense. And here's some texture that has nothing, you know, it's obviously he's wearing spandex. It's obviously not a spandex texture. Let's drill that in. And then let's go down to his arm here and make it look like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. The striations of those muscles
like
that don't
tendons
exist.
or something?
Yeah, it's like tendons that don't exist in the human body, but let's jack them in there.
Yeah, he's and see that what bothers me is that he's so like, it's like he doesn't I don't know if it's like he doesn't know that like so many people are just like, you know, just like idolize his art. So many people like look at his art and it's just,
well, he's very down. I don't like reading interviews and stuff with him because he hates his shit and doesn't think it's any good. And it's like, dude, you're one of the best of all time. We got a new contribution for the crowdfunder.
oh, did
somebody
jumped in? Want me to sneak over there and take a look at it? We can.
Yeah, somebody jumped in. Somebody jumped in hard. They got that space. I guess they were watching us talk about the space worms stuff, and they grabbed themselves a copy of it. That's awesome.
Hell yeah! Let me pull this. Oh, okay. Oh hell yeah! Right on. What was it? It was like 120 something or 140 something. Yeah, nice.
So we're 40% funded now. That's good. Yeah. Like I said, we're at a point now. We're at a point now where I can print, and I'm comfortable with this. Like, if it ended with 11 backers right now, I can easily do a print minimum print run, get everybody their stuff out, and make a little crack money on the side.
Yeah, and that's what we want. I mean, that's my goal, is to keep you supplied with what you need. You know?
Yeah, crack and mescaline.
Give you the Dr.Ben with a little Dr.Ben bump there. I'll play.
Hell yeah!
Awesome. Well, hell yeah. Well, let's go out on a high note. That's all. Stick around. I'm gonna play place a song out.
All right.
So I gotta go run around and the curse, as I told you earlier.
Sure.
Yeah. Stick around.
I really appreciate you having me on. I love your reviews. Keep doing those, brother. They are some of the best comic book reviews on the internet. No bullshit. You have such a creative way of approaching comic book reviews, and you have such a good taste in indie comics that, like I said, you cost me a lot of money because I end up trying to buy the shit, all the shit that you, not all the shit, but a large portion of the shit that you review, I end up trying to track down because it's awesome. So keep that up, brother.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. That's what I'm saying. That's all it's about, is just spreading the good word of faith in comic books, faith in Strangeville. So
it's a good
end
place.
of stream. We did get a backer, so I think that'll delay the actual death of Kevin Strange for the moment. For the
little while longer.
But
we're all born to die, Dr. Ben. The end comes for us all.
It's true. Well,
without darkness, there can be no light. You and me are brothers. You know what this is? You know what I'm quoting?
I can think of it. I can't
Tim
think.
Curry at the end of Legend, man.
Oh, why wasn't I allowed to watch Legend?
Right before Tom Cruise hits him with his own sword, he's fucking blasted by the light. He's hanging on for dear life. You will never defeat me. What?
He's scary looking. He's that
awesome.
Big red demon face.
He's got if his head is this big, his fucking horns come out to like here.
Oh, I know. They're like
biggest fucking devil horns on any. He's like the best. I think he's the best depiction of Satan in all of maybe media in general. Like, well, we could let's get out of here. We could do another.
Yeah, let me
or otherwise we're gonna do an hour and a half Kevin Strange treatise on the brilliance of Legend. Who was the Ridley Scott's Legend?
Ridley Scott's Legend.
Save that for another day. I want to start doing movie YouTube stuff because in addition to being passionate about comic books, I'm extremely passionate about cinema and especially trashy, genre cinema. Is that the curse? You gotta go.
It's there. It's here. It's over my shoulder. No.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let me play. I'll play our show. The link for the Indiegogo is down below in the description. Should be the first one. Check it out. Help support.
Check out Death to Strangeville. Hope you like it.
Yes, we will get Kevin Strange in the dirt by the end of this. By the end of the campaign, he'll be
6 feet deep.
Do not wear that outfit again. But if you want to keep your speed, because I want to fit in. Sorry, you're just not terribly important to me. Did you know that when you used to debut on me, her phone number would take us through? Did you know that Christy, there were no girls with good personalities? I don't think we should see each other anymore. It never was supposed to be. Gotta return some videotapes. Have to return some videotapes. Did you know I'm